Hi guys, welcome to Chris Ryan Golf. You've joined me at the Belfry again today, and as you can see we're in the Callaway fitting suite here at the PGA National Golf Academy. Now, we're going to discuss the takeaway in this video, and we're going to discuss a term which has been used in sort of golf instruction for quite a few years, and we're just going to explain that and just maybe talk about it in a little bit more depth, and maybe just explain a little bit more about how that's going to affect your golf swing and where we're going to go from there. So we're talking about this sort of one-piece takeaway that gets branded around from a lot of people, and what that effectively means is that from a starting position we want to move the club away with the upper body rotating away as one piece. So we're not sort of changing that with this, or we're not trying to move the arms, but we're trying to control it with the chest. Now, whilst I don't disagree with that, it doesn't explain exactly what happens in the takeaway. And if we start to look at the best golfers in the world, you know, the golf swings out there which are sort of classed as, you know, technically very good, we'd actually see a little bit of difference in that takeaway. So let me explain the issue I tend to see with this term and sometimes how people misinterpret it. I'm going to take a setup from face on first. And I've just got a mid-iron here, just a 7-iron. And what we'd often find is that lots of golfers who are trying to achieve this one-piece takeaway are trying to create this sort of triangle look here and trying to maintain that as they move away. So from the front view, as we move the club away in this sort of fashion, we'd probably say that looks pretty good. Okay? As I start to turn this way and take a setup so you can view it from more down the line, again, what we would see, if we do that correctly, is we'd see the club generally moving on a pretty good path away from the golf ball. We're not getting any sort of, you know, weird, funky hand movements or any sort of changes in path very early in the golf swing. We're making this nice, smooth golf swing. Now, the issue I see with that is when golfers do this, we don't tend to see any movement in the hips or the legs. Because they're focusing very much on this one-piece takeaway, chest and shoulders dictating, you'll notice that my legs and my top of my thighs aren't really moving too much. Now, whilst that's a pretty good takeaway, from there we can often find that golfer underturns as they complete their backswing. They haven't really called their body. Take a look at the best golf swing in the world. You know, the Tiger Woods when they're swinging very well, the McIlroys, the Justin Roses, these kind of golf swings. What you will see is when that club has moved 2 to 3 feet away from the golf ball, so not, you know, particularly far into the backswing, but by the time the club has moved 2 or 3 feet, there will be some amount of leg movement. My hips have started to rotate. My legs have started to move. You can see that from the camera there. If I put a little line on the top of that leg and on the top of those thighs, you'll see that as I move away, those legs are beginning to move. We need these hips to turn a decent amount to get us into a good position at the top of the backswing to deliver the club in the fashion that we want it. Simply trying to just move the club with the upper body can lead you down a route where we don't really turn these hips. We're either going to get this club lifted, or from a front-on perspective, if we're trying to hold these legs in place, we can often find that leads into a little bit of a lateral slide in the backswing when we're trying to hold these legs. They have to move in order for us to complete this backswing. So what I want you to try and think of next time you're at the driving range, next time you're practicing and you're trying to think about this initial move, is feel like it's a one-piece takeaway, but it's not one piece in this upper body. It's not shoulders and chest. It's kind of the whole sort of body. It's the hips moving as well. Now, the hips wouldn't move at the same rate as the shoulders. The shoulders would start to rotate at a quicker rate, but we would still have some movement in the legs, in the hips, as we're moving that club away. You'll see there I've got that club to around about first parallel. I've got a decent amount of shoulder turn, but I've also got some amount of hip turn, and that's created some movement to my thighs and some movement to my knees. That's what we're looking for in this takeaway. So we just really don't want people to get bogged down with this idea of trying to keep this triangle and move that triangle away on its own, because that will look very good for the first couple of feet, but it may well lead to issues later on in the golf swing when, I say, we might be a little bit underturned. We may have to lift the club up to the top and we don't quite get the right coil in the golf swing. So just having this knowledge and maybe having a look at it in a reflection in a mirror can really help you make some better backswings, and hopefully in turn that's going to help you hit some better golf shots. I'm going to go ahead and hit one. Probably not going to be the best camera angle to view this from, you know, sort of down the line would be better, but you will hopefully see that fairly early in this golf swing you'll see some movement in that left hip and that left knee as I try and move the club away into the backswing move. So let me go ahead and hit one. Okay, pretty good shot. Pretty happy with that. So hopefully you saw that lead leg, the lead leg move a little bit earlier in that takeaway than what we might imagine. That's okay. We need this to happen to encourage a good backswing. Just make sure we're not sort of moving it too quickly We don't want it to overturn too early. That can also lead to some issues. So allow the shoulders to start, but allow the hips to have some movement as well, and that'll ensure you get yourself into a better backswing position. Thanks for watching. If you liked it, give it a thumbs up. If you've got any comments, please post them down below into the box. I'll do my best to respond to as many as I can. And if you haven't already, please click the subscribe button. These videos are going up weekly, different content, different topics, hopefully helping you understand the golf swing a little bit more, helping you understand your golf swing a little bit more. And if we can do that, we can generally play some better shots, hit some better shots, and enjoy your golf a little bit more. So thanks again for watching, and we'll see you again soon.